3, 2, 1. In the time it took you to blink, this creature just threw the fastest punch on planet Earth. Faster than a .22 caliber bullet leaving the barrel of a rifle. It shattered aquarium glass. It boiled the water around its fist. And for a split second, it created a flash of light and a temperature nearly as hot as the surface of the sun. This is the Mantis shrimp. And right now, the United States military is spending millions of dollars trying to copy it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why a 4-inch crustacean might protect the next generation of American soldiers, fighter jets, and submarines. Let's start with the animal itself. The mantis shrimp isn't actually a shrimp, and it isn't a mantis. It's a stomatopod, an ancient line of predators that split off from other crustaceans around 400 million years ago. They've been perfecting the art of violence ever since. There are over 450 species, living in warm, shallow waters from Hawaii to the Indian Ocean. Most are just a few inches long. Divers call them thumb splitters, and aquarium owners know them as the animal you never, ever put in a glass tank. Here's what makes it a living weapon. Folded under its body, the mantis shrimp carries a pair of raptorial appendages, spray-loaded clubs made of one of the hardest biological materials ever discovered. When it strikes, the club accelerates at over 10,000 times the force of gravity. That's the same acceleration as a .22 caliber bullet. The punch reaches 50 miles per hour underwater in less than 3/1000ths of a second. To put that in perspective, if a human could accelerate their arm at even a 1/10 of that rate, they could throw a baseball into orbit. The secret is a mechanism engineers call a power amplifier. The shrimp's muscles are strong, but no muscle on Earth can contract that fast. So instead, the mantis shrimp compresses a saddle-shaped spring in its arm, the same shape you see in Pringles chips in modern architecture. A latch holds the spring in place while tension builds. When the latch releases, all of that stored energy explodes outward at once. It's not a punch, it's a crossbow made of muscle and shell. Each strike delivers up to 1,500 newtons of force. That's over 300 pounds from an animal that weighs less than your smartphone. Crab shells crack open, snail shells shatter, and half-inch aquarium glass broken in a single hit. But here's where it stops being biology and starts sounding like science fiction. The punch is so fast that water literally cannot get out of the way. The pressure behind the club drops so violently that the water boils at room temperature. This creates a cavitation bubble, a pocket of vapor that exists for just microseconds before it collapses. And when it collapses, all hell breaks loose. The implosion generates a second shockwave nearly as powerful as the punch itself. So even if the mantis shrimp misses, its prey gets hit twice. Inside that collapsing bubble, temperatures spike to nearly 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit, approaching the surface temperature of the sun. For a fraction of a second, in a tiny point of ocean water, it is hotter than lava, hotter than rocket exhaust. And here's the part scientists still find hard to believe. The collapse releases a tiny flash of light. It's called sonoluminescence. This animal punches so hard, it makes light. Let that sink in. No technology, no chemicals, no electricity. Just a fist moving so fast that physics itself starts to glow. Now, here's the billion-dollar question, the one that got the Pentagon's attention. If this club hits with the force of a bullet thousands of times between molts, why doesn't it destroy itself? A boxer breaks his hand on a jaw, a hammer chips, even industrial ceramics crack under repeated impact. But the mantis shrimp's club survives 50,000 strikes without failing. When researchers put the club under an electron microscope, they found something remarkable. The outer layer is packed with hydroxyapatite, the same mineral in your teeth, arranged in a crystal structure harder than many engineered ceramics. But the real magic is underneath. The inner layers are built from fibers stacked in a spiral, twisting like a staircase, a design called a Bouligand structure. When a crack forms, it doesn't shoot straight through the material. It's forced to twist and turn, following the spiral, losing energy at every layer. The club doesn't stop cracks, it traps them. It absorbs catastrophic damage and simply doesn't care. Nature spent 400 million years running crash tests, and this is the result. One of the most impact-resistant structures ever studied. And that brings us to the military. For years, U.S. defense research agencies, including the Air Force Office of Scientific Research, have funded scientists to reverse engineer the mantis shrimp's club. The goal? A new generation of ultra-light, ultra-tough composite materials. Carbon fiber panels built with that same spiral architecture have already outperformed the aerospace-grade materials used in aircraft. The applications write themselves. Body armor that's lighter than today's ceramic plates but absorbs more impact. Combat helmets that trap shockwaves instead of transmitting them to the skull. Aircraft panels, vehicle armor, and yes, tougher hulls and coatings for submarines that must survive crushing pressure deep below the surface. A soldier's plate carrier, inspired by a shrimp. That's not science fiction. Prototypes already exist. So the next time someone asks you what the deadliest puncher on Earth is, don't say a boxer. Don't say a kangaroo. Say a 4-inch crustacean that punches with the speed of a bullet, boils water with its fist, creates light from raw violence, and taught the most powerful military on Earth how to build better armor. If this blew your mind, hit subscribe, because nature's arms race is just getting started, and nature is undefeated.